Welcome to Miniatures Paintbrush. Today we're going to talk about, well, some Q&A. I asked out to the community if you have any questions for me to answer, and here I am answering those questions. But before we get into that, we're going to talk a little bit about, well, let's start off with some hobby progress. Now, what I've been doing is, well, I wanted I still want, the terrain for AOS that just kind of came out. I think that Sigmarite Ruins kind of place looks absolutely epic, and I really, really want it, but I'm not going to expend any funds because all my funds that I have for the hobby and everything else that I have now, I already spent all the money that was for computer items that I received from the channel. That's gone, but all the money that I'm saving now for hobby and getting anything is all going into my epic computer, but more about that later. Let's talk about that hobby progress. So I wanted to actually get some Reaper Bones miniatures, and I wanted to paint them up so this way I can sell them out. I'm thinking $10 a pop is the sweet spot. I'm gonna throw a lot of them on eBay. I got 16 completed. I'm going to show you. I have 16 completed. This is just a handful over here. I don't know how well you can see them. There are 16. I could turn on the light, but it's probably going to blanch everything out. Oh my gosh, everything. I don't know if that doesn't help. Oh my goodness, I'm getting a tan just looking at that. All right, anyway, there they are. Just a handful. I got 16 different ones. I'm going to put up on eBay for $10, starting $10 a pop. Hey, if you want to contribute to the Miniatures Paintbrush and buy one of these are speed painted. They're great for D&D. They're great for tokens. They're great for anything, really any RPG game that you want to play, or even heck, if you want to switch out your Monopoly pieces or something like that. With the Reaper Bones miniature, you can do that. It's speed painted, but there is some love thrown in there. There's tonality. I have gradients. I'll play around with things like non-metallic metal, speed painting non-metallic metal. I painted in all the eyes for every single one, so there was love and care. It took me at least one full painting session to get it done. That means one per day. I've been cranking out one a day in order to get it done. So there is a level of quality there, but it's not going to win any awards. It's great for your gaming table, and if you are considering, I'm actually going to put it up onto eBay, and I'll put that announcement on the Miniatures Paintbrush Legion on Facebook. And if you're not a member, consider being a member of the Miniatures Paintbrush Legion on Facebook. We're a community of painters that like to help each other out and really check out each other's work. When I get the computer up and running, I'm going to go to the Miniatures Paintbrush Legion and showcase the stuff that's getting shown there. So if you really want to be part of this community, come join us. We're a big family. We're friendly people, and very, very talented people are in there as well. All right, so that is it for hobby progress. There's a little bit of an announcement that I want to make. One of my students in my Spanish class, this is going to be the last day of school. It's tomorrow. So he saw the Miniatures Paintbrush. He saw that I liked Corvettes and stuff like that, and he actually got me this Corvette, which looks like the split window coupe that I actually painted up for the channel. You can check in the playlist for a scale model. Actually, that's my most popular video. It has 28,000 views. Right? For me, pretty amazing. I do wanted to say this. Okay. Let's get into this. Let's get into computer hobby progress, because I'm dying to get into that. I really want to get into this. Okay, so got myself a gaming mouse. It's the G203. Nothing super fancy, because I don't even know if I'm going to game with this computer. I might. I don't know. If I do, I'll maybe stream. I don't know. Do you want me to play video games on the channel? And I don't know if you want me to do that. But let me know. if you're interested, I'll just build a Steam collection. But I do have a gaming mouse. It's super 8,000 DPI, and it is colored, so this way you have RGB lighting that can match the inside of the computer. Yeah, I'm going for glam and glitz inside that computer. It's been on my bucket list to really build a supercomputer, so this is it. So speaking about RGB lighting, you got yourself a mouse. Oh yeah, that's right. So I got myself a Logitech G512 Carbon. It's mechanical. It's GX Blue Clicky. So click, 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 click. And plus the RGB lighting. It's pretty cool. I know I've seen one that you actually press and it looks like a splash of water is being immersed onto the keyboard. There's so many things I can play around with RGB lighting, but that's also going to match my computer as well. So keyboard and mouse, mechanical mouse, epic, epic, epic. One of the things I wanted to do is have enough memory in the computer, stuff storage in the computer. Now I have 1 gigabyte already of M2 NVMe powerhouse that's going to run all my systems. But what about storage? You know, recording video takes up a lot of space, especially if you're recording in high definition. So I got 5 terabytes of space in this Toshiba X300 drive, and I picked this because it's the most reliable. Definitely not, I heard it was not the quietest, but it'll last the longest, and that's really all that I really need when just storing my memory onto this. But 5 terabytes. Now my laptop only had half a terabyte, and this is 10 times more than that, but I couldn't stop at that. No, I got another one. That's right. You have Toshiba 2 5 terabytes hard drive, so that's 11 terabytes in the machine, and I have 3 terabytes for backup, external hard drive to back up all my material so I don't have to lose any information. So in total, I'm talking about 14 terabytes of space that I have to manipulate, more than enough space to put on epic videos upon videos, and then backing up my system. So that is for computer hobby progress. Now, on to the main event. Your questions answered right here. All right, let's see. Let's start off with Mikey R. His first question is, how do you integrate staying well and healthy into the wargaming lifestyle? How do you fight the tendency of sitting and eating chips all the time? Well, one of the things went back and forth with that is Lehman Russ actually got onto the conversation in the chat, and he said you need discipline to go out more and to be more active. I agree with that. Get a standing table so that you're not sitting all the time would help if you're painting and really want to get things done. But how do you integrate being healthy into your weekly routine without losing hobby motivation? Okay, so what I do is I want to paint. I really want to paint, but I don't allow myself to paint unless I do a physical activity or unless I do something. Like, if I eat poorly, I won't give myself the ability to paint. Like, if I eat really poorly, I was like, I'm not going to hobby today. I didn't earn that. So I'm very much on the carrot in front of the horse to motivate me. I have to have an end goal. Painting for me is such a relief and such a pleasure, and it's such a, it's an indulgence, really. So I feel that I have to earn that indulgence. I'll work towards the indulgence. And if painting is what I really want to do, like for you, it could be gaming, getting to the gaming store. Well, if I eat right all week and I work and do my runs and get it in all week, I can go to the gaming store and have my game with my buddy. I'm not going to let myself down. I'm not going to let my buddy down. I'm not going to let anybody down. I'm going to do it. I stay singularly focused that way personally, and it actually motivates me to get more done. Sometimes the motivation could be simple. I'm not going to paint a Reaper miniature unless I do all my housework. I'm not going to paint unless I finished my lesson for today and all my lessons and everything else for the week or something like that. So I definitely give myself a challenge to do and then reward myself with the hobby if I accomplish that challenge. Okay, so hopefully that answers your question. Mike R. and Lehman Russ, who joined in that conversation, thank you so much. Okay, Orcomanic. That's cool. Orcomanic says, you're working for GW. Wait, this is a scenario. You're working for GW and you are tasked to create a whole new faction. What would it be and why? Holy moly. What would it be and why? It would. I would say it would be a Bretonnian army, but not exactly Bretonnian. It'd be more like, it would be more like the Spartans. Yeah, like an elite warrior group of muscle bound, this is Sparta. That would blow my mind. And of course, that would be for Age of Sigmar. Let's see, for 40K. I mean, we do have the Dark Lords, the vampire people, so that can't go that way because I love wolves and vampires and stuff. You know what I'd like for 40K? I'd like Nagash to have some kind of presence. Like, I don't know, like some kind of undead thing to bring up. Imagine all the skeletons out there, like in 40K universe. Imagine if they all rose. Right? That would be overwhelming. So that's what I would invent. Something Nagashi. I mean, all the other gods kind of have something to translate from one to another. So I would do that because I'm a fan of the big Nagash. All right. So here's another one. Gork or Mork, choose wisely. Well, since you put it that way, it's have to be Mork because that's cunning and brutal. Since I have to choose wisely, I have to be cunning first, I guess. Although the more fun one would be Gork because he's brutal and cunning. Okay, anyway. Your students know. Oh, do your students know about your hobby? And if so, what kind of feedback do you get? I'm glad you asked this question. I actually have a letter written by a former student last year who came this year just to write me this letter. Thank you for all your work, not only at school, but teaching how to paint miniatures. It's good to see your YouTube channel is doing well. The way you teach is the best I've come across through the 20-some schools that I've been to. You breathe life into your class and help me get out of my shell. The motivation you gave everyone is incredible. Your principles of life and teaching show just how great of a person you are. Signed, Galvin F., and I'm not going to say who that is to protect his privacy. But, you know, when you get letters like that, and I mean, he did not have to write that. I mean, he's not even in my class anymore. And he came back just to write me that letter, just to let me know. I get letters like that often, and I love every single one. It is absolutely amazing. So some people don't get it, but hey, you know, that's them. But they really just, the vibe that I put out here, this is not just me pretending to be excited. I get excited. I get excited in my classrooms. I get excited about a lot of things. I like things, and I feel like if I'm not motivated to do it, then how would you be motivated to do it? So let's get motivated together. I know that's me, right? Anyway, all right, here's another one. Orcomaniac says, during the hobby progress, did you ever ruin a model so badly that you had to throw it in the trash bin? No, my first model was never thrown in the trash bin. No, I found fire. And I melted that thing because it's sort of like Cthulhu, if you know who that is, right? If you stare into Cthulhu, you go mad. If you stared into that first painted model, you go mad. It makes How to Win a Golden Demon look good. Let's just put it that way. All right, anyway. Okay, so what was your most incredible holiday ever? Okay, so when I was going out one year, I decided that I wanted to go on a cruise, ocean liner cruise, right? So in order to do so, I'm on the East Coast. I traveled all the way to the West Coast, across the whole country in the Pacific Ocean. I'm in the Atlantic. Pacific Ocean to California to Los Angeles. From there, I went on a boat and I did the Mexican Riviera. All right, it's Cabo San Lucas and all that amazing fishing for marlin and experiencing the people. Since I speak Spanish fluently, it was pretty awesome. We got tours of just amazing scuba diving, all kinds of things that went on in the excursions that we went to. Seeing sand sculptures. I mean, it's just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And then afterwards, I came back up and then spent a week in Los Angeles. And I went to Santa Monica Pier. I realized that Santa Monica Pier is actually the end of Route 66. Get your kicks on Route 66. I mean, that isn't actually a song. Music, we're going to get to it later. Okay, so that was the most incredible holiday I've gone to. The most incredible holiday I'd like to go to is to go over to England, check out Warhammer World, head over to Germany, and do the Nürburgring, and then finally go to Italy, rent a Ferrari, and go from the topmost northern part all the way down, checking out Florence and Venice and the artwork there and everything else, and everything. So yeah, just road trip in a Ferrari sounds awesome. That's my imaginary ultimate vacation. Anyway, another one is just traveling across the United States and actually seeing all 50 states and just spending some time in the major cities there and major attractions there and checking that out too. That would be an epic adventure too. I don't know. I like traveling. Anyway, do you prefer resin bases or do you prefer to create your own base and design your own? I'm more partial to, depends. That one depends because when it comes to resin bases, I don't know, some of the pieces are harder to get to. So when I'm painting them, it looks a little different and it doesn't have the exact look that I want. So I usually create my own bases and play around with that because I do have a lot of material where I create my own bases. If you see my tutorials, you're going to see a lot of created bases. However, I've gotten into the rollers and using those as well. And those are fun. Actually, my entire Stormcast Eternals army is all green stuff and rollered out with the Green Stuff World rollers. So there's that. So I don't know. It just depends on the model, the feel, the look, and definitely the resin base. I do not like sanding resin down though. I do not. Okay, so are there wolves on Fenris? Now people say there are no wolves on Fenris, but I have Fenrisian wolves. A name says it all. How? Okay. So Orc Maniac, you had a lot of questions. I answered a lot of questions there. Lord 17C asks, if you could make one suggestion to new painters, and only one, what would it be? Don't lose heart. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. You may be going through an unconfident period now, but the only way you're going to get better at anything is if you practice that thing. The only way you're going to learn how to ride a bike is if you fall off and fail and fail and fail and fail until you no longer fail or you less frequently fail. Let's put it that way. So if you are failing at something and you don't give up, you're actually learning. If you fail at something and give up, you're not learning anything. So definitely that. If I have to give one advice to a painter, that's what it would be. Okay, next up, Wolf Brother Mythos from the Frost and Fist asks, favorite painting technique? Oh, do I have to choose one painting technique? That is definitely something that I cannot just choose one painting technique. If I had to choose one, goodness. Zenithal highlighting, only because it shows me where the shadows are and where the bright highlights are and what I can do and how I can paint. Because even if I don't follow that, I can definitely know what colors to pick for that. Okay, next question. Wolf Brother Mythos asks, have you preferred 40K or AOS so far? Well, it just depends. I have an itch for some sci-fi stuff. I like the 40K. I have an itch for some medieval stuff. I'll go for AOS, and that's just the way it is. I don't know. It just depends on my mood. Okay, third question he asks, favorite scale model kit you ever worked with? I mean, I love race cars from Tamiya, Schmigel. I don't know. I love the race cars from there. Actually, there was a Loctite R34 GTR that I worked on, and it really showed me how to apply decals. I mean, really tested me, right? Okay, that's pretty amazing. Okay, so now, 50 Shelves of Grey. Describe your hobby load with a movie title. My hobby load? I don't know. Every time I finish one, I don't know. That does. No, that is a good one. Let's see. Movie title. My workload with. I mean, wow. Holy moly, wow. It's all about the finished product, so I call my workload Endgame. And that's kind of new. I was thinking about, The Godfather and all this. Endgame would work because I'm on the spot and I can't do. I don't know. All right. Okay. The man behind the hobby. What are some of your favorite bands and why? And what is your favorite song from each choice? Now, I like all kinds of music. I'm very eclectic with my music. I like my Christian rock music. Like Red is amazing, and Skillet. I'm a really great fan of them. There's so many. Okay, so I just gotta list off at the top of my head. Just getting the genre of I think rock. Okay, just rock, regular rock. Pantera, Walk. Because they're bad. Well, all of these because they're BA. Pantera, Walk, System of a Down, Chop Suey, Metallica, Master of Puppets 1, and the Four Horsemen. I know there's so many. Shortest Straw. I mean, that has history to it. Go Cliff Burton. Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit. Queen, We Will Rock You. AC/DC, Back in Black. Black Sabbath, Crazy Train. Ozzy, War Pigs. Yes, that's right. Guns N' Roses, Sweet Child of Mine, The Doors, L.A. Woman, Led Zeppelin, Stairway to Heaven, because Pink Floyd, Comfortably Numb, Alanis Morissette, You Ought to Know, B-52's Love Shack or Rock Blockster, I don't know, they're even in my book, The Beatles, Hard Day's Night, Blink-182, What's My Age Again, Blue October, Jump Rope, Chemical Brothers, Block Rock and Beats, Deftones, Command Control, yes, Disturbed, Down with the Sickness, Epica, if you haven't heard of that, Epica, Sancta Terra, Flyleaf, I'm So Sick, Green Day, Horses and Hand Grenades, Incubus, Pardon Me, Final Fantasy X soundtrack, The Other World, Linkin Park, One Step Closer, Mia, Meds and Feds, Marilyn Manson, The Beautiful People, or Little Horn, I don't know, they're kind of easy, equal to me, Mercy Me, Shake, Chemical Romance, The Black Parade, One Republic, All the Right Moves, Pearl Jam, Jeremy, The Prodigy, Run with the Wolves, Smashing Pumpkins, Sublime, Skillet. I mean, there's so many. Come on, man. You cannot ask that question for me. I'm a music lover. Just really. Anyway, Who Took My Dice asks, what was the thing that got you into the hobby? Well, here it is. I was in Manhattan, and I showed this gaming store, and I went in, and I saw that this guy's a Golden Demon winner, the Complete Strategist in Manhattan. That's in the Empire State Building. It's right in, of course, 34th Street, I think. I went in, and I saw some of the stuff, and I was like, wow, this is cool. Is this for sale? And he said, no. I said, how about if I give you $100 for one mini? He said, no. And I said, how about if I give you $300 for one mini? He said, no. And I said, $500? He said, no, but I'll show you, I'll kind of lead you in the right direction. Why don't you buy some paints? Why don't you buy this model? You can paint your own one, and it'll be a lot cheaper that way. And then it started, and then I burnt that mini. But I never gave up. All right. What has been your favorite model to paint? Favorite model to paint. My favorite model to paint is going to be the model that I am painting, because every time I paint the model, I improve. So I look at my older models and say, blah, and this one looks great. It's awesome until I paint the next one. So my favorite model to paint usually is the model that I'm working on. And every single model back here is not bought because of their tactile efficiency. It's not bought because of their point value system. They're not bought because they're going to make me good at the game. They were every single one of these bought because I think there would be one heck of a time to paint up. And that was my goal, and that still is my goal. So I have a whole bunch of boxes of stuff that I'd love to paint up. End of story. Okay? So I enjoy painting them. Again, with who took my dice, second question, what has been your favorite, oh, I said that one. Which one was your least favorite model to paint? You know, I'm painting these Reaper Bones miniatures, and the quality just isn't there. So some of them, it's starting to feel a little bit like work for some of them because the mold lines are in just like terrible places, and they're really hard to clean up. And then the process of painting them, there was one that didn't even have eyes, and I had to paint the eyes on there. They didn't even have eyes for it. So just the Reaper Bones, a lot of the Reaper Bones that I've encountered so far have had those kinds of quality issues, but some of the Reaper Bones were actually really good, especially the larger ones. The details are pretty awesome on those. So yeah, some of the Reaper Bones was my least favorite to paint, only because they didn't help me paint. Like, I feel GW models help you paint because everything is so, I mean, the detail is so fine that it helps you identify where things are, and you don't have to paint them, freehand, basically. All right. Emily Yachezo. Did I get that right? Yachezo? Emily I met at CK Studios painting with Vince Ventuella earlier. Was it this year or was it last year? I don't know, late last year, earlier this year. And she is an amazing person. She really is. I actually brought in Warhammer Underworld's Shadespire set because I did tournaments and stuff like that, but I wanted to share that with her, so I got a couple of miniatures. Emily, did you ever finish painting up those miniatures? And if you did, I'd love to see them. And Em, you are a part of the Miniatures Paintbrush Legion, I believe. So, yeah, post them up there. That would be amazing if you do that. Love your work. Love that Night Titan you did. I mean, really, very impressive. Okay, let's get back to the question, okay? She was just at TMX, too. If you can go back in time, what piece of advice would you give yourself when starting a YouTube channel? Here's a great question. One advice that I would give to myself while starting a YouTube channel is, Rob, back up your stuff, because eventually your laptop is going to crash on you and you're going to lose your theme music and your backgrounds and all that stuff you worked so hard for. It's got to be erased. So back all that stuff up. I think that would be the biggest advice that I would give, because with me, I follow my heart, and everything that I've done on the channel, I followed my heart with. So I'm just, I don't know, I'm living the dream, I guess. I'm happy at every video that I produce. And I love trying new things out. So there. Okay, last question. Victor Ques. You see, yo entiendo el español. Yes, I understand Spanish. So I like watching your channel. And actually, Victor, I'm a fan of your work. I love your work. You are pretty talented. And I'm honored that you, A, watch my channel, and B, replied and are part of the community. Feel free to join the Miniatures Paintbrush Legion on Facebook, and I'd love for you to showcase your work, because, yeah, your stuff is pretty awesome. Victor Ques, what is your favorite mini in your collection? I'm assuming you're saying built, because if it was unbuilt, Archeon is pretty awesome. Nagash is pretty awesome. Mortarion is pretty awesome. I don't know. There's so many awesome things that I have to paint over here. But painted, I guess it would have to be one of my most recent ones because it shows off a lot of freehand. It's a kind of a tie. I'm not really done with my Night Titan. I would say it would be my Night Titan. But since it has to be completed in my image, it's going to be Vandus Hammerhand. And Vandus Hammerhand, he has some freehand on there, his cloak, and I think it came out pretty nice. This video setup is not doing it justice. So, yeah, he was pretty fun to paint up. Anyway, I like to have too much fun with these things. So there it is. Those are all the questions that I have. Thank you, everybody who actually asked any questions. Next week, we'll talk a little bit about contrast paints, maybe. Maybe I'll get my hands on some. I don't know. It depends. Right now, I'm actually taking 2 college courses, and they're summer courses, so they're accelerated. So time, it's amazing that I got my work done now, read 50 pages of my book, and wrote 2 reports on it, and I actually had some time to record this. Yes. So I'm going through that, so time is very, very limited. Anyway, that being that, I hope you enjoyed the answers to these questions. And if you like this video, like, share, comment, and subscribe. And we'll catch you next time on the Miniatures Paintbrush.